Number three is to teach them healthy self-talk. Now, it's very hard for a child that is constantly talking himself down to be mentally strong, or a child that is so soft, a child that is so emotional, and anything other people says, other people's opinions gets to them. It is so difficult for such children to grow up to be emotionally strong. So as children, as parents rather, teach your children to constantly practice healthy self-talk daily, all right? And one way you can do that is to teach them positive affirmations that they can say daily, all right? Another thing you can do is to let them know that everybody is entitled to his or her own opinion, so that whatever anybody says to them, they don't take on that identity of another person's opinion. Let them know that that person has a right to his own opinion, but that person has no right to label them. It is not in another person's situation. It is not in another person's, the other people do not have the authority to label them. Let your children know that yes, they are entitled to their own opinions, but they are not entitled to label them. It is just an opinion and it remains an opinion, all right? Teach your children these things. Number four is to avoid using negative comments or harsh criticism on your children. Now, as parents, one thing we must know is the fact that our children get the sense of the first impression about themselves from us. Whatever we say they are, over time they begin to believe it. Whoever we say they are, they just take on that identity. So please, as parents, no matter how angry, no matter how much your children offend you or fall below expectations, be mindful of the words that you use. Do not use harsh words, do not use derogatory words, do not insult them, do not call them names. Try as much as possible to use constructive criticism. And if you're so angry at that point in time, instead of you saying anything so hard that you may end up regretting, just take a step backward, take a deep breath, and just allow the child for that particular time. Then you can come back and begin to talk to the child about why the child has not acted well and what the child ought to do. Or better still, just step out, take a break. Time out. Parents also need to take time out in situations where they feel so angry and they just want to explode and say things that are not adequate. All right, so this will work. Mind your words, and remember that as parents, over time, our voice, our words becomes our children's inner voice that continues to resound in their minds over and over. So let that voice be positive. Let that voice be voice that will edify, all right, and that will build our children. And then finally, assign personal responsibilities to your children. If you want them to grow up to be mentally strong, to have a sense of responsibility, they should have certain responsibilities in the house that is just for them only. If they don't do it, it doesn't get done. So they know that they will be held accountable if this assignment, if this task is not done. And one thing you must not give room for is excuses. Don't allow them to give you excuses. Whenever those tasks are not done, they should face consequences, all right? Consequences that are measurable, that, so that task, all right? It shouldn't be something too ambiguous. Yes, you can allow for explanations, they can explain to you, but you must never give room for excuses, because once you begin to permit excuses, they will always come back with more excuses and more excuses why it is not done, why that thing is the way it is, and you must not give room for blames, all right? You mustn't allow them blame another person. They should know that that's solely their responsibility. If it is done, they get a reward. If it is not done, they face the consequences. So if you incorporate all of these daily habits, over time you begin to see that your children will begin to grow up and become more mentally strong, all right? So once again, if you're new to this channel, please kindly subscribe so that you can continue to get more of such amazing videos that will help you, all right, build your relationship with your children, that will give you easier ways to discipline your children, just general parenting tips basically. All right. Thank you so much.